bringing you the theory of what's happening with the black family, black wealth, and the fear of a black man. It's the black American experience that we truly look at, plagued by a traumatic history and countless chances of accountability from all parties involved. Join us, and let's get in tune with the Transform You Black Commentary Show with your host, Marcus Art. Now here's your host.
Welcome all to the Black Commentary Show. This is brought in part to you by Transform You Media Network. Shout out to the network, man. You better show some love. Check them out by heading over to transformubroadcast.com. That's transformubroadcast.com to find out more about what we got going on. We got free classes if you need them. Free podcast class if you want to learn how to be a podcast host. Or if you're just looking to sponsor a show directly and get shout outs throughout live streams, throughout podcast episodes, what have you. And speaking of sponsors, shout out to North Bay Freight and all that they are doing. If you got freight, or if you're looking for a job in trucking, a career in trucking, you want to hit up North Bay Freight. They got a IG page, Instagram page at North Bay Freight, or you can follow them on Facebook as well at North Bay Freight. Let's get it. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about real simple two things. The bigger topic at hand is, are single mothers the new black fathers? Are single mothers the new black fathers? Because every year we go through this, you know what I'm talking about, where if there is a baby mama who may not have the father presence, or just don't want to acknowledge the baby daddy whatsoever, they say, oh, I'm both mama and daddy, so happy Father's Day to me. Really? Is that what we doing? Really? And then, of course, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. There was a little one-liner that I got put in the description of the playback of this if you are watching this or listening to this, however you are enjoying this. If you are enjoying this at all, I would like to know what you think. Of course, you can always hit us up with a review or leave us a comment, whichever is appropriate. But there's a little one-liner that says, are you going down to Juneteenth Day? My great aunties and my granny, when she was around, used to always say, are you going down to Juneteenth Day? Nobody said happy Juneteenth Day. Nobody was too concerned about this thing coming to high. None of that. So we're going to talk about that as well, and just the whole smoke screen that it appears to be looking like, or it could be a further distraction away from what's really important and what could really benefit the black community. But you know, if you are someone who's as awake as I am, know that this is too far a diverse population of black folk that we dealing with to know or to give a blanket solution for all of our problems. Because we got the biggest problem of them all, and for one, I think one blanket solution would to be addressed would be to get us all some serious mental health treatment, because a lot of us are just lingering with trauma upon trauma. And back to the topic, switching gears, but which is a good segue, we need counseling. We need spiritual counseling, spiritual healing for better mental and spiritual wellness in the family unit, especially because we got so many single family households to where we got women that feel that it's not even necessary to even acknowledge or mention the baby daddy, the man, whoever it may be. They even bring him up, not even bring him up to the kid, to their following on social media, to their new boyfriends. And I said boyfriends because they do a whole bunch of unnecessary dating as well. But this thing is getting pretty ridiculous, man. It's pretty bad out here. It's pretty bad out here. So why is this happening? Why is it that the black man is sort of like MIA, quote unquote? He's like missing in action, and he's further getting this reputation. And when Father's Day come around, it's like, you know what? This day is great and all, but we're not going to blow it up like Mother's Day. We're not going to blow it up like any other day. It's just not that important, right? Okay. Why is it? Right? First of all, it's a stereotype. It's a stereotype that still linger on, decades upon decades. This whole stereotype about black men, about black fathers. We got this huge stereotype that black fathers do not want to be in the lives of their kids, of their children. And I'm not to say this, but that's just absolutely monarchy. That's not true at all. I know a bunch of fathers, a bunch of black fathers who truly want to be there, who are there stepping up, me, myself, who are stepping up and are present, at least present, and so much of why this stereotype continues to linger on is because I'm coming to know that, and especially very early on, and my journey into fatherhood, is that a lot of people equate how well you are paying your part, literally paying your part, right? Literally paying your part as the other side of the parent with how much money you got, how much you are contributing, like financially, how much of the responsibilities you are taking over in terms of just buying some of the craziest brand name stuff and some of this other stuff that just isn't really just a necessity. Okay? And then they take that, they move that in place of like things like time, discipline, training, teaching, love, and caring, and all these great things that are great qualities of a father. They just bypass all that and say, you know what? He doesn't want to be there. He's a loser. He's a deadbeat. He's this and that. Therefore, you do not have a father. You don't have a father. Black man ain't nothing. Okay? You hear it all the time, and it's despicable. It's deplorable. Okay? And I think it's about time we kill this stereotype, because there's honestly a lot of black men out there that's trying their best. And even when, okay, here's another one too. They will also take what happened with the relationship between the man and the woman, the baby mama and the baby daddy, or the wife, or they might have been married too. They might have been married. Sometimes it's like that, where they were married and then they quickly got divorced. They take what happened in that relationship though, that romantic relationship though, and say, oh, he dogged the mess out of her. He did this and did X, Y, and Z to that. But they will bypass how well he treats the child. How much of a good relationship he has with the child. They will just overlook that and say, oh, he's just no good. He's a deadbeat dad too. What? did did you not see how well that interaction was with that child? How much he poured into that child? And I mean, but even if he comes out of that picture of the relationship, and maybe some months go by, maybe even some weeks go by, and then he decides that, like, okay, can I start establishing a relationship with my child? Since okay, I get it. We're not together no more. We're not going to be in. And a lot of what I'm talking about too, a lot of other races outside of black can apply to this, which is a sad situation that, like, that it's just not black man that is happening to. That it is other men outside of this whole spectrum of this conversation that it happens to. But largely though in the black community, where even after the breakup has happened, you will have the woman just standing right there in the way, blocking, no, no, blocking the man from attempting to at least establish a renewed relationship, or a new path to start a great relationship with the child. At least they will use the child as a pawn, or token, to attack, or get back at the man. And this is just plain pettiness. It's pettiness. It is signs of symptoms of something mentally that's not right, and needs to get better, and that some counseling does, some therapy. You do need to go through some therapy and do some work as yourself, as a woman, because whenever you have to, take a child, and then you gotta grab somebody else, and throw somebody else underneath the bus because things didn't work out between you two, it's totally wrong. And I look at my father and my mother's relationship, although theirs didn't work out. They were very young when they got together. They were teenagers when they got together, and they tried to make it work. And though it didn't work, my mom never stayed in the way of my dad trying to be a father to me. She never talked bad about him, and I can greatly appreciate that. I mean, I love my mom to death, even more for that. And I think more and more you're gonna, what's actually happening. You have this continuous cycle of women who's doing this, and it's because their mother probably did it to them. Okay, and that's why they're fatherless too. So you got fatherless women doing this kind of psychologically, because they're broken spiritually, they're broken mentally. They having the same, they think that their fathers, might have harmed them, might have intentionally scarred them, but really it's just the relationship that was going on with their mother and their father, and now the mom, because the mom was vindictive, and the mom, started hating, literally hating, hating on the man. It has destroyed her whole image about about man, and not just not just men, but the whole idea of a black father. And we shouldn't hate black fathers. What I posted earlier, I said, man don't really need credit. We don't really need credit for the things that we were put on earth here to do, and these roles that we move naturally into. I know for a fact that we do not struggle to be the type that can love on another, that can show compassion, because we demonstrate this in competitive sports. We demonstrate this in the things that we create things that we create, we have a love and affinity for. Like like this picture, this great picture in Mikami that I created. I really love this thing. So we don't have a problem loving something that we have created. So i.e. the baby. So if the baby come from us, although we didn't deliver it, but like we put the seed in there to start the creation process, and we seeing this thing come, like growing up. Of course, we want to be there, foster, put a much of us into that baby, because a large part of that baby is us. And when you look at a lot of these babies, they grow up starting to look just like us, and they carry on a lot of the traits, and if they're man, they're going to continue to pass on a lot of the father's traits, rather the women like it or not. And I think what's so crazy about this holiday, and what people got twisted, is they made it very competitive. Like they made it into something like, okay, well, well, he can have a little bit of this day. I ain't gonna I ain't gonna give him no credit. And even after this day, he still ain't getting no credit. Skip his credit. But I forget him. Forget him. And but like we're not looking for credit. We're not. We not. We, if anything, what would it be great if man had access to rights, some of the same rights, okay? But you even with that, you still don't see a lot of man who's making it work, even with little rights that we have, especially in a state like Wisconsin. You don't see a lot of man complaining about that. There's a lot of man that's swimming through the system and just dealing with it, just taking it, like, man, and it's terrible. It's very terrible that that like men have to swim through this legal system, and spend countless amounts of money, and I'm not just talking about child support, but I'm talking about just with the legal costs that you encounter, the whole paying for well, now courts on Zoom now, thank God for that, but paying for gas to get down there, getting the suit and tie. Well, a lot of men don't get a suit, but something most men do, most good men do, getting the lawyers, all this crazy stuff, or getting sent to jail. Getting sent to jail, they like, man, it gets ridiculous. But if you can't win in the courtroom, at least can you get your rights in your own community? Because what we see in the black community is that you'll find more people on the side of the woman and will stand up for their rights as natural parents, but won't stand up for the rights at all for the man. We'll say like, oh, you have no rights whatsoever. Just go. Just get on. Get away. Get off the door. But so if we can at least establish what our rights are as black fathers in this community, and really start enforcing those, and we can then work outside of this whole like white justice system that really get us caught up and really have us sometimes feeling like we by the balls and powerless. And you find a lot of women getting a thrill off of this. Like, oh yeah, his ass is on child support. Woo woo woo, I'm gonna get that check, and now I got sole custody, and and they don't even know what that means. A lot of times, some of them don't even know what that means. Okay, what really is sole custody? Like, if again, so that's why if we can get together as a community or as a village, as they did in Africa, and really figure this thing out. Parents working together, grandparents all involved, even get your cousins in there. Like, so, like, and then when something goes down, you can like really figure it out together, rather than just this whole back and forth, bringing in all these stereotypes that that just don't even make sense, that don't even apply to your situations oftentimes. And because a lot of times, what it is just people just looking at what happened in that past relationship between that man and that woman, and then they looking at what their parents went through, and they're looking at TV, the stupid tube, and listen to rap music, n words ain't shit, and all this is like, come on now. So we have to get better. We have to get better, and we have to really start showing some compassion for each other, and really start putting the child first. Okay, we can't keep doing what the past has done to a whole generations upon generations of people, damaging, just further damaging people and scarring innocent people. We got a whole generation right now that's coming up. This generation is highly intelligent. They know how to use technology, and we really need to be invested in them. And they really do need both parents. In order to be mentally and emotionally healthy, they need both parents. And this whole idea that mothers got it figured out better than fathers. That's just a load of crap. You need both. You totally need both. And that father is the enforcer. I know my father was the enforcer for me. No matter how aggressive he was and how hard he was, I thank God for him. I thank God for that he did caught me at the age he did, and really got in my butt about a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of small conversations that I used to have with him that really shows up now in life right now, and I think that's what black fathers really bring to the table. It's just this whole experience. They really experience life a lot more differently because like they have to be out in life. They actually are allowed to be out in life. As men, we are allowed to be out in life. We are allowed to explore this life a lot more freely without actually kind of worrying. Although there are a lot of dangers around the corner for black men to worry about, such as police. We got, and then potentially another black man gunning us down. But outside of that, we don't have those same worries and safety dangers that black women tend to fear about, with being raped and that sort of thing. So and then with the human trafficking and prostitution and all these other crazy things that I can go so deep into. But because we get to experience the world and look at it from a different lens, I think that's why we can bring so much wisdom, so much into and so much conversation to share to our children, that really helps them along the way and really prepares them for this real world. This world that's really not so friendly. To black children. It's not really friendly to black children. It's getting better. It's getting better, but especially not so friendly to black men. So this is very important if you are raising young black men, young black men, young black boys. So, but if the father's not around at all, or he is, God for, having to be passed, there's situations like that, where the father might be dead or something. There are men who are willing to, come and step into that place. Then if you got brothers, if you got uncles, you lean on them. But don't be like, oh, I got it all by myself. I'm talking to the women. I got it all by myself. I don't. I'm a single mother. I'm both and father. That's a load of crap. And crazy that I only hear. It's sad. It's crazy and sad that I only hear black women say that more than any other race. it's crazy. It is pretty despicable, if you ask me. It's sad, you know. So I wish my wish that we will reverse this and get this thing going in the right direction. But last thing I want to touch on is like Juneteenth. So did you go down to Juneteenth Day? That's what like my auntie, my great aunties, and my grandma used to say. And when she was around, did you go down to Juneteenth Day? Nobody was ever anticipating um, ever having a Juneteenth holiday. So, because people, a large part of the black population went years not even knowing what Juneteenth was about. We just celebrated. We was just okay with celebrating. It was a day that we got together. You know, here down in Milwaukee, there's we they used to have what they still do. They had the parade. They will have the vendor booths set up. People, this time where people get together, get together. But over the years, as you get older and as things get more dangerous, because there's been some incidents that happen down there. So now I don't go down there. But regardless of the fact, there was nobody ever complaining, as far as I know, about needing the holiday. I mean, but it might, there was some people, some older generations, some small percentage of the older generations that would, really wanted this to happen. But none of the newer generations really felt like this was necessary, So, for one, if you look at it, it's all about the emancipation, and about how basically the message came late. It came late that you was free, But like emancipation doesn't even mean free. If you look at it, emancipation does not mean free. It means like it's in process of happening. So if you if you take that deep, if you look deep into that, we still are kind of stuck in this whole emancipated. Uh, uh, we still kind of stuck in this whole emancipated state right now. We're not necessarily free right now. We're not free. Because like a lot of people are still enslaved in their minds. Like there's a lot of people whose lack of not knowing, is still holding them back in the black community. There's a lot of people who, whose 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 lack of access can't level up the same way others can. So therefore, you got a lot of inequality in different areas, where if people had information, or was receiving the information, um, was receiving information, or gathering information, that they wouldn't be as impoverished as they were. They wouldn't be in the state that they are in. They wouldn't be, I hate to say it, they whew, oh man, they wouldn't be, oh man, it's it wouldn't be so low frequency, man. So I guess that's the best way I could put it, low frequency. So in order to raise our people up, truly raise our people up, they think this holiday is what's going to start solving problems in the black community. Like, no, 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 no. Uh, what really can start solving a lot of the problems is if we start giving access to important information, and continuing to drill that information, um, to the people. This is why black media is so important. That we control our black media, our information, and how it's being delivered. This is why it's important that if you know something and somebody asks you, and I'm talking about black people right now specifically. If you know something, my black man especially, if you know something, another brother asks you like, man, how you do that, man? I really want to know. You help that brother out. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Help that brother out. So like, like we shouldn't be this far separated from each other. But like it's this whole competition between each other. This whole trying to have the best car, dress fancier, stunting on each other, all this other crazy stuff that we all worried about, and we got to get past all of that. So uh, I ain't gonna go further into this because I do got to get out of here. I only wanted to do 30 minutes, and we do got a troll who's trolling the heck out of me on Twitch. He's trolling his way. I think the brother's a little lost. I think he made it to the wrong stream. But shout out to DG King on Twitch anyways, though. Brother, we gonna pray for you. We gonna send some healing your way, brother. So anyway, I'm out of here. Make sure you check out the Black Commentary Podcast. Love you too, DJ King. Make sure you check out the Black Commentary Podcast on any podcast app. Right, that be Spotify, iHeartRadio. Of course, the show is also on YouTube. So you can watch it or a podcast format. Catch a lot of the previous episodes there. This is the first time in a minute that we did a live stream, and DG King was able to catch it. So we are praying for you, brother. We got you. We out here.